Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and this fun-sized electric bike I've got here today is the juiced RipRacer. Let's check it out. Fun-sized is a great way to describe the juiced RipRacer. It's on the smaller end of the size spectrum, though it's not quite as small as it looks. Plus, the seat is of course adjustable and the bars can be angled further forward to make it fit a taller rider with longer arms and legs. Juiced says it fits riders from 5'0" to 6'3", or about 152 to 191 centimeters. For reference, I'm 5'7" or 170 centimeters, and I fit the bike like I was born for it. And in a way, I feel like I was. The juiced RipRacer is practically my spirit animal, letting me do all the things I love on e-bikes, yet all on the same e-bike. That means urban riding, trails, everything. Sure, there's no suspension, as in not even a suspension fork, even though they did cleverly choose a fork that really looks like a suspension fork. But those 4-inch fat tires basically do the job of simple suspension with all of that air volume. I also find that I tend to ride the bike a bit more like a BMX bike, staying soft in the knees while I'm up on the pedals, so that tends to help too in the suspension department. Now, moving forward as I dive into the specs, I should mention that there are actually two versions of the RipRacer. I'm on the higher power and higher spec Class 3 version, which costs a couple $100 more than the Class 2 version, but it's 100% worth it. There's a link in the description below to both versions, and if you decide to buy one after finding this video helpful, we hope you'll use our affiliate link as it helps support us spending the time to make these videos. Not that I wouldn't want to be out riding anyways, especially since the Class 3 version of the RipRacer is just so much fun. Even though it's limited to 20 miles an hour out of the box, you can unlock the 28 mile per hour mode so you can really fly on the bike. You also get to take full advantage of the wink wink 750 watt motor, which is really over 1300 watts of peak power. That's a lot of power and a lot of speed, so you'll be glad to have those hydraulic disc brakes on 180mm rotors, bringing you back to reality. Not to mention some excellent lights for visibility, including a 1050 lumen headlight. Next, feeding that hungry motor with all of that power is a 52 volt and 15 amp hour battery with 800 watt hours of capacity. It's Juiced's second gen battery, meaning it's got big improvements to the case design, including a hidden AirTag compartment, and it will one day become compatible with a cool new docking station that Juiced is expected to roll out at some point in the future. In terms of range, you're supposed to get a claimed up to 55 miles or 88 kilometers of range on low pedal assist, which, as usual, is kind of true, but let me tell you right now that this bike is so much fun you're going to be ripping on the throttle a lot of the time. It's literally in the name, RipRacer. This is not the kind of bike that you ride low and slow. It's for having fun. Now that being said, the bike does have a couple of downsides. I mentioned the lack of suspension earlier, but there's also a distinct lack of gears, making it a single speed. That doesn't bother me here in flat Florida, and to be honest, it's also going to be a good hill climber on its own with 1300 watts of power and small diameter wheels for extra torque, but some people just have this weird aversion to single speeds, so I wanted to point that out in case you're one of those folks. Other than the suspension and gearing though, the rest is all pretty darn awesome. It's even fairly lightweight at 66 pounds or 30 kilos. Not lightweight, but for a fat tire electric bike, that is on the lower end of the fat tire weight spectrum. And yet it still has that 270 pound or 125 kilo weight rating, so it can still carry larger riders. Adding a rack or fenders into the base price would have been nice, I'll admit, but the current sale price of $1,599 for this 28 mile an hour Class 3 version, or an even lower $13.99 for the Class 2 version, still feels like a great deal to me, especially for such a fun runabout type of e-bike that takes up a smaller corner of your garage while still giving you plenty of riding options for wherever you want to take it. Thanks for watching everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the juiced RipRacer. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.